Hello, ISPA family, and welcome to the first installment of our new Pulse Partners interview series, our very own take on The Tonight Show. As many of you know, Pulse Magazine is the leading publication in our industry and an incredibly valuable resource for ISPA members everywhere. In the coming months, we'll be speaking with representatives from our year-round Pulse advertisers, a group whose support is essential to bringing you so much of the wonderful content you see in each issue. Our conversations will celebrate these valued members of the ISPA community and give you a chance to learn more about these amazing companies and individuals, something you wouldn't normally learn about them looking at a website. You'll also hear how the new and exciting products, services, and initiatives you can expect to see from them now and in the coming year will help protect and grow your business. I'm Patrick Huey, ISPA Board Chairman, and I know I speak for everyone here at ISPA when I say that we are thrilled to be joined by my longtime colleague and friend, Boldijarre Koronczay. Boldijarre is president of Eminence Organic Skincare and winner of the 2015 ISPA Visionary Award. I loved seeing you win that award, Boldijarre. Now, by that introduction, it may lead you guys to think, who've never met him, that he's a very serious businessman. But those of you who know Boldijarre know him as the funny guy who loves to make others laugh by delivering presentations in his unique comedic style, marked by his use of all kinds of props and willingness to make himself look silly. Boldijarre, welcome and thank you for joining us here. And by the way, I love the suit.
Oh, you guys love this? Well, I thank you and welcome everybody. I'm trying to bring a little bit of a holiday cheer and happy holidays to you and to the whole ISPA family. And you told me, Patrick, that it is going to be like a semi-formal, like more like a conversation kind of thing. So I decided to dress semi-formal. So it's more formal here on the top. And I also wanted to be a little bit more less formal on the bottom. Okay, so that was kind of my aim over here. So there you have it. What was the question? There was a question. There's no question.
I didn't even ask the question. I just said hello and welcome. And now I'm getting snowflake effect with the industry and unicorns. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Okay. So seriously, tell me, I know that we can all see that you're not afraid to make a fool of yourself and look silly and have a great time. But I really want to know, what inspired you to break the mold of that serious businessman executive type and to have this really unusual philosophy toward your life and your work? I think it's beautiful, actually.
Well, thank you very much. Well, I would be happy to tell you about this. Is a really fascinating story. But before I do that, I have a new filter. Let me put that on because this is a really bad lighting. So let me see if this works really good. All right. Okay. Is this better? No, I don't know if you could. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, I'm not sure. Let's try to, okay. All right. No, it's the same. I don't see any difference. Okay, forget it. Just this is better, right? Like this is actually better. So I would be happy to tell you about it. Is actually, my life story is something that is quite unique. I have, when I was a kid, I was only 40 years old. I was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia, which is way back then. That was like practically almost uncurable. So they gave me like less than 1% chance of survival at the time. And that honestly, like you would think that, wow, that's one of the most horrible things that could happen to you in your life. And I can have to say it was probably the best thing that happened to me in retrospect in my life, because it really helped me to see life in a very different kind of way. What do I mean? Well, every 3 to 6 months as a childhood leukemia, you could actually fall back into childhood leukemia. So up to like you're in your 20s, and then later when you were like past 50, it could also happen to you again. So I looked at life in a totally different way, because every 3 months you had to go back and have a test. And every 3 months, back then, it took almost 10 days to get your results back. So you had a good 10 days to reflect on life and things on what are the things that could happen if it's not a negative test. So when somebody say like, live your life day by day, well, I lived it 3 months by 3 months. So every 3 months, I felt like I bought myself another 3 months. And what I'm going to do in the next 3 months to make it worth it. That's why I started to try to see. I love comedy. I love love making others laugh, and also the fact that I was extremely fortunate. I was one of the very few that was able to manage to get better and recover. So I really do feel like that I do owe it to the world to make others' life as enjoyable as possible. So I have even did like last comic standing shows and all of that back in high school, which is I always there was a guy who beat me. I was always came in second. So there's this other guy who beat me. Then he was always really mean to me. He's like, haha, I'm funnier than you are. And now he's a photocopy machine salesman. And then the other year I went back to Hungary and I ran into him on the street and he was like, hey, dude, I saw your picture in a magazine. And I was like, really? Can you make a copy of that for me? He didn't think it was funny. Like, so that's how I have, I was able to get to start up this kind of like a personality. And honestly, humor helped me tremendously with building the company. Like, and when we had no money whatsoever, we were like a complete startup started with 2 suitcases and running around in the industry. I was like the guy with before organic was a thing, people kind of ridiculed us, to be totally honest with you. And I used humor to get people to pay attention to us. So all of the classes were fun, interesting, and that's why people came.
Wow. So tell us, for the people who don't know about Eminence, because you mentioned your company, tell us about your company and what Eminence is, what you do, what the approach is to skincare and body care. Tell us about that.
Well, now that I kind of said a little bit of this part of the story, it kind of makes more sense that why would I be such a health nut, right? Like, like the typical tree-hugging granola, in that sense, because I have been living, my parents, ever since I got better, I haven't even drank a soda, like a pop, like Coca-Cola or anything like that until I was like 16 or 17 years old. Like once one of my friends made me drink it, but honestly, like my parents made sure that I don't get any of the sugary stuff and anything else. So organic, natural, and biodynamic nutrition and ingredients were like a way of life for us, and for our entire family. So that's how I got into that, and I really, really, genuinely, really believed in that. So that was one of the start of it. But overall, about the company. First of all, I want to say a gigantic thank you for everybody who have helped us to support us and have voted for us, because I'm super proud of this. I don't know if you guys know that just a few weeks ago, we were voted 12 years in a row the favorite skincare company of the industry. So that has been quite something. And then it's also which I'm extremely proud of, is that also we won it for favorite in product education. So that is something I'm really a huge believer in this, because I believe that once you understand it and you understand why these things are so good for you, you will be able to become much more successful in your spa and in your business. The couple of other things that's interesting about our brand is that we planned for every product that we sell, we plant a tree. So we have done over 16 million trees by now. So that is pretty unbelievable. And so for every product we sell, we plant a tree. So, and every time there is a product return, we cut a tree. No, I'm joking. This is completely a joke. We don't cut any trees and we don't have any returns. We want to be, we are also a certified B Corporation, which means that we want to be the force for good in the world. So we don't just want to be the best in the world, but we want to be the best for the world. So that's what we're aiming for. And I really believe in continue to do the approach that I always believe in life is like always keep your foot on reach for the stars, but keep your foot on the ground. So the entire company that I'm most proud of, that I feel that we build it on relationships, just like ISPA build the whole network based on relationships. And we want to have this big company with a very small big company service level with a very small company feel still. So, and I'm very proud of that. And I'm very proud of that. I think one of the most important thing is that I'm very, very proud of the entire team and the entire company and all of my team members who helped to build this incredible success. So I want to say a huge thanks for them.
I mean, I think too, what's really interesting about your story and your company is that joy that you have as the basis of your business, as the foundational principle, that idea of joy and wellness and clean and healthy products. I mean, you know, we carry your products in the Montage spas, and the therapists love you when you come to the property because you bring that joy and that light to them. And I think that is a great recipe for success. I mean, we're all trying to figure out how to be successful and do more and profits and, you know, costs and all of that. But at the end of the day, you've really been able to sort of translate this vision, not just to a company, but to an entire industry that embraces that concept of joy and laughter in their work. Can you talk about that?
Of course. And this is, like I said, life is too short to take things too seriously. Like, you know, and don't take me wrong, I take business extremely seriously. As you know, we've been there. We are taking care of all of our customers. During COVID, we have had came up with so many programs and plans, like affiliate programs. We maximized business building rewards. We have done all of the things that, like I said, like, you know, free shipping through lower the minimums, donated to the frontline workers, etc., etc. But I think the key thing is, which is I think the most important thing, is that we were just there for our customers and made every single one of our team members picked up the phone and called people. And we didn't call because we wanted to take an order. We wanted to call because we wanted to be we just wanted to be there for you. Like, you know, so if you needed a shoulder to cry on, or you needed the latest homemade bread recipe that you needed while you are in quarantining, we are there for you. And that is that one-on-one kind of service is that I really believe in, and all of my team members really believe in. And I really want to be grateful for that, and want to be grateful for all of our spa partners who were also there for us.
I love that. I love that. Now, I know that you have this very successful company, but people may not know that you also started as an esthetician by trade, that you have actually been in the treatment room up front with the guest. So you know what that experience is like, which makes you very empathetic to the experience of a therapist in the room. What people also may not know is that you have a wide range of very successful people that you've worked on, that you continue to work on. I know we won't talk about that, but do you have any kind of funny stories related to being in the treatment room that you share?
It's what you never ask. That is, these are my favorites. Like, you know, I can't talk about any of the celebrities because that would be breach of confidence. Like, you know, but I can talk about some other clients, which is like really, really funny. So there was one time that I actually lit up a client's hair on fire. Now, that doesn't sound like it could be funny, but it's only funny because nothing horrible happened to her. But so let me tell you this story that you're gonna enjoy this. So there is this lady comes into the spa with a beautiful long ponytail, like used to have a beautiful long ponytail, and she lays out on the massage table, and I'm doing her facial. And those of you who have seen me doing facials before, I raise the table really, really high up so I can stand throughout the entire treatment. So that means that the table is higher than the actual dolly that's next to it. And I had candles lined up on the dolly, because back then, this is long time ago, there was no electric candles or LED candles. It was a good old-fashioned BBAB candle, which is Bed, Bath, and Beyond. It is the beautiful pumpkin and vanilla. I think it was like in the fall. It was like in November. So I had this candle, and she lays down, and her hair hangs off on the end of the table, right? Like, you know, like just like when you receive a facial. And then I'm standing on the side of the table because I'm doing an arm massage for her. And so I'm doing her arm. I cannot turn her shoulder to the side. So the hair swing around the other side of the table from where I'm standing and hang straight into the candle. And as I'm massaging, she goes, you smell something? And I'm like, yeah, I think I do. Like, I'm like, I think we just turned the heat on. And then, when you turn first the heat on and you get like that burnt dust smell. And I'm like, don't worry about it. It's probably just the dust and everything. Oh, okay, great. So she kind of goes back to like snoozing and just enjoying the massage. And all of a sudden I'm looking over the bed and I'm like, wow, that is really fascinating. The candle is so bright, like, because by now her hair is like fully on fire, right? And then I'm looking a little closer. And as I look a little closer, the sheet got on fire, right? Like the whole thing went like, poof, like, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What I'm going to do? So I'm always teach, never panic, even if you mess up something. So like, like stop whining. It's meant to be in your eye. You don't get this. And so I always try to be like, just stay calm. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? So I always used to have a pillow under people's knees. And so I take the pillow out and I lift up the pillow. And then as soon as I lift up the pillow, she opens her eyes and she looks at me in the dark room. And I'm standing with the pillow over her head. And I look in her eyes. She looks at me, I look at her, we look at each other, and I just realized she is convinced that I want to kill her. And that sheer fear on her face was so funny, like, because I'm thinking, I just want to save her hair, right? But she thinks I really want to murder her. So I'm standing there and I'm already super nervous. So, and I start to get this really nervous laugh, like, and start hitting the head with the pillow so to get the fire out, right? So I'm like, and so now she thinks I totally lost it, right? Like, I mean, it's like 100% sure the guy snapped, right? Like, and I don't know what she's thinking, because I'm like, I'm not even really hitting her face, I'm hitting beside it. So she probably just thinks I'm this amateur killer or something, right? And somebody and everybody from the spa starts screaming like, help, like, so the people are running in from the spa and they're like, what's going on here? And then I'm like, your hair is on fire, or was on fire. And she's like, what? Like, and I'm like, your hair was on fire. And she's like, oh. So it's really funny. Once you put things into perspective and you go from murder to hair on fire, it's not that bad, right? Like, so she was like, oh, okay. No big deal, like, keep going, like, and I'm like, okay, seriously. So yeah, everything is relative compared to murder. So she was pretty fine with it. Like, we had to get the obviously the facial was on me. I was like, it's a comp. Today, it's a comp facial. Let me throw in a few gifted purchases for you. And she was actually got her a haircut and got her some products. And she was my client for another like 15 years afterwards. So we laughed every time we see each other. There is one.
I'm thinking now that if that happened today, it would probably burn faster because it'd probably be weave. So.
And so much product in it too, right? Yeah, good news. I have no problem. This will never happen to me. Like, I think both you and I would be perfectly fine with around candles.
Yes, we'd make it through. We'd make it through. Oh my God. Any other funny stories?
That's actually probably one of the most interesting one. There is, like, I could spend the whole day on this, but yeah, this is the one that I think it have stuck with me, and I will never ever forget that. Like,
yeah, I think it's an epic story, Boldijarre. I think it's an epic story. Okay, I'm curious to know, you kind of mentioned the planting of the trees, but I know. Can you talk about this is Giving Tuesday that we're taping this on, but can you talk about the philanthropic efforts that Eminence has in place to give back to the community, the land?
Of course, I would be happy to. So that, like I mentioned, with the trees, that we did over 16 million trees. That's huge. And also, because you heard about the whole leukemia the story of mine, we have started something that I'm also super proud of, and with all of my staff, this is something that we that's truly dear to our heart. Is that we go to we do like these cookouts where we rent out cooking schools, and we make organic soups, and we make certified organic foods from local farmers, and we get the ingredients from local organic farmers, and we cook hundreds and hundreds of liters of organic soups, and we deliver it to Ronald McDonald houses, and we deliver it to children's hospitals where kids go through chemotherapy, and we are in multiple countries and in multiple cities. What we're trying to do, because every time I have gone and visited hospitals, I'm actually amazed how they still give French fries and Jello and candy for kids while they are actually undergoing chemotherapy, and that is essentially probably one of the worst things that you could do. You're already sick, now you're getting chemo, so you get more toxins in your body, and then you eat toxic food. So what we're trying to do is give a fighting chance for children and giving them nutrition that is actually really, really good for them. So that's one of the things. It's called the Eminence Kids Foundation. And then during COVID, we actually did donate over 6,700 products to frontline workers, from nurses through all kind of frontline workers, and over to 97 hospitals. We give hand sanitizers and products that they would help to use to recover their skin from the mask, exactly from the rashes and all of the pressure that they would, and scars that they would have from them wearing the mask all the time.
I love that hand sanitizer. Let me just tell you, I do love it.
I'm glad you do. I'm really glad you do. That's why we made it. That's why we made it. So we are, and I want to again thank my entire team for helping to distribute this, and also to helping me to come with me and cook together. And this is a really amazing, I encourage everyone else to do this. This is an amazing team building activity for your staff as well. So doing something good together really builds camaraderie, and I think it's a wonderful thing to do.
I mean, you know, and it's been a tough 2020 in many ways. So I think those types of initiatives for frontline workers just add little bright spots of joy and happiness in this really complicated time. Tell me what you and your company are really excited about or looking forward to in 2021?
Well, we have, from ISPA, we want to come to ISPA, so that is going to be one of the number one thing. We want to see everybody again. We love to see everyone's faces and smiles, and we want to make everybody happy. And that is honestly what I'm looking mostly forward to, is to have this sense of family and team and love that's within our industry to be rejoined again, and we can't wait. So that is something that we are truly thrilled about. We are also have had an incredible. We have this thing called the Gemstone Collection. We created a whole wellness lunch. This is so fun. My mom loves it so much that I think she loves this more than she loves me. My dad is still undecided. It's impossible. Yes, so we're looking forward to so many new things, but we are looking mostly forward to seeing everybody and to be able to get back on the road and being able to be servicing everybody in person. We've done over 4,800 trainings over Zoom since March. So that is absolutely incredible, and that is great. And at the same time, we want to be in person there to help to support our spa partners as much as possible.
It's so funny that you say that. This may be a little in the weeds, but after the great influenza thing that happened in the early 1900s, from 1918 to 1920, 21, 22, it was the roaring 20s. I mean, people after that were ready to let their hair down and have a really great time. And I think I'm looking forward to that, because I feel like we're and we're going to be able to come back together, and it's going to be I miss laughing with people and touching people and hug people. So I'm with you. I'm looking forward to being able to all come together in Phoenix and just be face to face with people who I haven't seen. I mean, obviously see you here, but just to touch people and feel their energy, I'm excited about that.
Me too. I really, really can't wait. So we're gonna definitely do some other epic parties probably again at ISPA. Hopefully by then we don't have to do the social distancing. But if not, then we will do it through Zoom or anything else like that. So just to be able to, like you said, life is too short to be able to take it over the top too seriously. At the same time, we want to be very responsible, and at the same time, we want to be there for everybody in an absolute responsible way.
Awesome. So I have one last question. So tell me, in this wild time of 2020, what has been your silver lining, or for you and your company? What has been the silver lining for you guys?
Well, for the company, one of the biggest things is that our social media following actually have grown like tremendously. So everybody now have gone to like social media. They are at home. People learned to be on Facebook, even if they didn't have any idea what Facebook has been. Like, some people didn't know what a computer is, and they don't even know how often to change the oil in them. And now all of a sudden, a huge computer, like they are influencers, right? It's so true. So due to the incredible amount of social media growth, we have had an incredible growth in our followers, and lots of people have been looking for our brands, and because lots of people are looking for our brand on social media and online, lots of people are going to spas looking for the brand. So it's ironic that and it's shocked us that we have had a record number of new spa partner applications because people are just looking for the brand. So in the middle of a pandemic, we have had an incredible amount of new openings because people were seeking a brand that people were looking for. So that has been a surprise to us, and honestly, it humbled us and made us really surprised that this was one of the reactions. And we are very grateful and very honored that this has happened.
That's awesome. Boldijarre, thank you again for joining us today and bringing some joy during what we know is a really challenging time for so many. And of course, thank you to Eminence for their continued support of Pulse, which will be returning to print starting in January of 2021, and which is also available on our Pulse app for iOS and Android. So we talk to both worlds. And to everyone for watching, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. Stay well and have a blessed and wonderful day.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a wonderful holiday.
Yes. You too.
Bye.